We're in Hanoi, in Vietnam. Hanoi is the second largest city in Vietnam, is the capital of Vietnam, is the second largest everything in Vietnam. The second largest population, the second largest gross income, and basically it has the second largest everything that's relevant in a geeky, statistical kind of way in Vietnam. It is our second time here, our second time in Vietnam, but our first time in Hanoi. First, we need to learn to cross the street without getting hit by cars, which we are very likely to master by the time we leave this place. And second, we are visiting some family. You wouldn't know it, but this lady here has some family in Vietnam. We just got here from Singapore yesterday. It was a very uneventful getting here from Singapore day, but it was a bit of a tough day for us. We couldn't sleep the night before because of jet lag probably, and we kind of overcompensated last night. We slept for 12 hours.
Just one. Okay, so this lady over here just took me from the street to give me some little donuts. Okay. Nothing. Thank you. More. No. Enough. How much? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Everyone has right of way except for us.
The old French Quarter.
Yes, the old French Quarter. This is where we're supposed to cue in some background music and just show you footage of the streets of these very small streets full with shops selling. Well, I think they're selling everything. They have everything here. We're not going to do that. We are going to use the background sounds because I really believe that the background here is way more interesting than some elevator music. Anyway, here's the chicken. If you're ever here, you should account for hectic, you should account for chaotic. Everything happens all at once. There's the traffic is so intense. There's the noise, everything is noisy, everything is loud. Your eardrums are going to hurt. This is the hottest we've ever been in Asia. And it's not a wordplay on the fact that we are young and good looking, because I am obviously not, she is. But it is incredibly hot. Real feel 45 degrees Celsius. For our American friends, that's 2 whiskeys in a jar and a Ford F-150 diesel. So far, Hanoi has been rainy, a bit messy, and full of coffee and chocolate.
We've been here, 24 hours? We've seen just a little bit of the French Quarter last night, and it was really pretty.
I did learn a few things about how sidewalks are used here. Maybe this will help you if you're ever in Vietnam, any place in Vietnam. So your average sidewalk is maybe 4 meters wide. First 2 meters of that surface is going to be used as a parking space for mopeds. The next 1 meter starting from that is essentially a pathway, or actually a bikeway for the mopeds for the people driving their mopeds on the sidewalk. And the last 1 meter, a coffee place or an eatery. You should really pay attention to traffic here. And if you do come and visit Vietnam and actually manage to live through it, then you're set for anything that Southeastern Asia might throw at you. This is Hoan Kiem Lake. It's an artificial lake right in the middle of Hanoi, next to the old quarter. And it is very pretty. It is so pretty. It even has an old temple there, or an old building of sorts. What's it called? You should read the name of the building.
It's Den Nok San. It's a brisk 31 degrees with a real feel of 44 degrees Celsius. A little bit of rain, but it doesn't matter. It's actually quite pleasant. Yeah, it's a nice walk so far.
Hanoi is probably one of the least walkable cities in Southeastern Asia. It is a struggle to actually cross the street, but we've learned how to do it, and we are going to show it to you once the light turns green. First, the rules. The traffic lights will usually mean nothing if you want to cross the street. Second rule, you need to walk in a straight line and walk as fast as you can. Don't run, do not run, and try to not change the pace. Just, yeah, and definitely don't stop until you're on the other side of the road. That was it. We've made it alive. Okay, and the third rule, I mean, this should be the first rule. You should really look both ways when crossing the street, because, you know, the ways of traffic, they don't mean the same thing in Hanoi as they do in your home country or my home country. There will be people on bikes, on mopeds, on scooters, on whatever, traveling, I mean, riding and traveling across the street from both ways. This is the Instagram famous train track in Hanoi, the one through which 4 times a day some train will pass by, and tourists. This is the most touristy thing we've done so far in this trip, and I'm really not liking it, but we kind of need to do it, I think, right? I'm not even sure what this is, but there are a lot of people trying to invite us in the shops and the coffee places, and there are like very small dogs on chains, and thank you. And yeah, I absolutely hate it, but I would assume that they have cold beer, so that will make me love it a bit more, or at least not hate it as much. And yeah, this actually looks nice. Should we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay. We did find a nice looking cafe with some like very great prices. You pay maybe €4 for a beer. It's actually €3. And some, I got a low prices for snacks. Do I want bread with butter and honey? Yes, I do. I would love to have bread with butter and honey. And beers.
Coke.
And we'll just have to wait for the next train to pass here. Through here. I think it's 7 p.m. or something. We did find something interesting on this menu right here. It's bread with butter and honey. And this really strikes home with us, because bread with butter and honey, it's something that we ate as kids in communist Romania.
Yeah.
And in transitional Romania. And in democratic Romania. And in current Romania. And essentially all the time. So the next one should be here in 45 minutes, and I guess that's enough time for 3 beers.
Yeah, maybe.
Ooh.
It's supposed to be very hydrating.
So it's beer. It's beer is like 95% water, you know. I've read that. I mean, you read that Hanoi is kind of big on IPAs and mostly homebrewed beers.
Yeah.
Right, like
There's
artisanal beers and.
There's a place very close to the French Quarter, if I remember correctly, that it's called the Beer Corner, and there are local breweries that make their own beer, their own IPAs.
So now, guys, we're gonna cut this short. We're having some beers and waiting for a nice train to pass. And well, Alexandra is trying to Instagram the coconut. She's doing a very good job at it, I'm sure.
Yes, I am.
So she's going to place that beer bottle cap on the track. This is a superstition of sorts. This is for good luck, I think. And the train should be here in, I think, 10 minutes.
11 minutes.
11 minutes. And the train should arrive from over there. And this totally makes sense because the train station, like the main train station in Hanoi, is right over there. Yeah, so guys, this is like the big moment and everyone is going to lose their shit because this is a train like țineți picioarele alea acasă, nu te miști, da? Okay, people. So like, everybody's alive.
I did not expect it to go that fast.
Fast.
It looked fast.
It looked fast, right?
And where's
Maybe,
my...
Looking lost.
Yeah.
it's
Where's
all
my
over the place.
button?
Yeah.
This is the bottle cap that was on that bottle, and I put on the track. Look how flat it is. Jesus.
Because I mean, it is flat because a 2,000-ton train just passed over it.
Yeah.
Right. So, guys.
Sorry.
I was a bit, well, disengaged might be the word for it when we first arrived here because, you know, it is a touristy thing and we don't necessarily like to do the over touristy things. But we just had a very, very nice chat. Let me just pan the camera around. We just had a very nice chat with the shop owner, the business owner at this place. We are going to link everything we have in the video.
It's Kunyan Homestay on Train Street.
Yeah, if you're ever on Train Street in Hanoi, and let's be clear, you'll probably be here on Train Street, make sure to pay a visit to Kunyan Home.
It's the Russians. Oh, sorry. Hello.
We're back in Hanoi.
This is day 2.
This is day 4.
Well, technically it's day 2 because yesterday we were in Haiphong to see my cousin and we came back this morning. Yeah.
It's a family matter of sorts. We're in Hanoi. We're in the botanical gardens of Hanoi, and it's a really beautiful place. And the initial plan was to see Ho Chi Minh's mausoleum, right?
Yeah, but I was not dressed properly.
And neither am I. We did the most touristy thing ever, and we didn't read on the conditions, the general terms of admission to the mausoleum of Ho Chi Minh. And the security guard told us that we are required to wear pants and
Long pants, yeah.
probably long sleeved shirts as well. And we don't have that because it's 40 degrees Celsius and we are in Vietnam. So we will have to, learn things about Ho Chi Minh the old way, the traditional way, through Wikipedia.
But one thing you gotta appreciate about this botanical garden is that it's quiet.
Yes.
So quiet.
Yes, it is. It is quiet because they do not allow mopeds and cars inside, or at least we don't see any. Ho Chi Minh, this guy was something else. They call him Uncle Ho, or that was a very informal way of referring to the guy. But I've read that he had up to 200 nicknames.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's quite a lot.
And every nickname is a celebratory one, right?
Of course.
The guy, he founded the Vietnam branch, right, of the Indo-Chinese Communist Party back in the 30s. That's 1930s for the young people out there. And he came to power in 1945 when they actually founded the current Vietnam Republic. And he was president. He was the president of Vietnam up to 69, if I recall, when he died. So his presidency ended with a very abrupt death. It was not by people's choice, but rather by, nature's choice, I believe.
We learned yesterday, because yesterday we visited the Hao prison. He was apparently one of the first people who managed to escape the prison, and that's how he gained popularity. He created at least a part of the communist teachings of the party.
We are now in this beautiful place, a botanical garden. They call it a botanical garden, but I've read that it's not that much botany, as the name implies. It's rather just a park, a nice park in the center of the city. And we are happy that there's less noise in this park than otherwise on the streets. And we are going to spend some time here.
Here's an interesting fact about Vietnam, and this is to our American friends. So here, tipping is not mandatory, it's not even customary, but when the service is good, you leave some tips, and usually the servers are really happy about it. So if you come to Vietnam, bring some cash and leave some tips where you go, although it's not customary or mandatory.
So guys, Vietnam, we've shown you some things so far. Not a lot of things, but some things. Please recall and remember and bear in mind that our channel name is Tarmac Nomads, and what we do is urban and city exploring. So you shouldn't expect less or more than that.
Okay, so this is Nam Kiem Moi coffee, which is loosely translated to salty cooking. It's basically salted coffee, salted Vietnamese coffee. And when you think about salted Vietnamese coffee, you think like salted caramels, but no, like this is really salty coffee, and it's weirdly good. Good morning. After 4 days of drinking coffee from the coffee machine in the hotel, we decided to try some Vietnamese coffee this morning. And before we do that, a little bit of history and a little bit of fun facts, if you want, or not fun, but facts about the coffee industry here in Vietnam. So you'll be surprised to find out when you come here to Vietnam that there are coffee shops everywhere. Every step you take, you will find the coffee shop. Some of them have their own specialty coffee. Some of them are more generic, but either way, you will find a coffee shop every step you will take. You will take in Vietnam. And why is Vietnam so big on coffee? So 2 reasons. They mostly brew Robusta coffee here. which is very high on caffeine. And it's the environment here is very good for growing Robusta beans. Da, și poate și cu cafea.
It's Saturday evening. This is our last night in Hanoi and in Vietnam. Well, at least for this year. And we are going to go and paint the town in whichever color local beer is. I think we're going to paint the town golden. So we're out to grab something to eat and to grab a couple of beers. And when I say couple of beers, I mean, it'll probably be like 5 or so. And I'm walking next to this really lovely lady here.
Hello!
She's happy. She's happy. She just had a spa treatment at the hotel. The hotels here are very, very cheap, incredibly cheap. You can get a 5-star hotel for 80 euros per night and a 4-star hotel down to maybe 60 euros. And you can go as low as maybe 10 euros per night for hostels or, Airbnbs. And such. So accommodation shouldn't be your main cause of concern, for at least not for the budget, if you want to travel to Vietnam. What should be the main cause of concern is that you really, really need to up your street crossing game. It's dangerous out here.
We are in a night market, but this is a special night market. This is a special night market because everything here is real fake.
No, it's just fake.
It's just no, it's real fake.
No, it's just fake.
No, it's
No, it's just fake. It's just fake, just as in any other night market in Asia. This is exactly as any other night market in Asia.
Yes, but it's real fake because they don't have the labels misspelled. So it's the real fake. See what I mean? And it's madness. Everyone is selling everything. From t-shirts and clothes to sneakers, perfumes, you name it. Everything you want is here. So I'm gonna show you guys. Okay, perfumes. We have perfumes and sunglasses and everything.
Guys, this is for real our last day in Hanoi, and we have come to this interesting place. It is a tourist attraction, although it is off the beaten path, and it is mostly a quirky tourist attraction. I'm standing in front of a very nice lake in this neighborhood, in this quiet Hanoian neighborhood. And my wife, well, she's searching for Wi-Fi or something. And right across the lake, right in the middle of the pond, as you can see, there's what remains out of a B52 heavy bomber. This was brought down by the Vietnamese army in the early 70s, not sure when, maybe 72 or 73, and it is one of the many B52 heavy bombers that, well, ended their career somewhere in the marshes or in the beaches or in the cities of Vietnam during the almost 13 years war. It is a very interesting site to see. If I get it right, I think that's part of the landing gear, maybe part of the wheelbase of a B-52. You could imagine that a B-52 is a huge plane, like a huge plane. I'm just going to pan the camera around a bit for you to get a sense of the size of this place. It's just like a normal, quiet neighborhood with small houses, like 2 stories or maybe 3 stories tall. And this lake is maybe, I don't know, 30 meters wide as it is in depth. And just the landing gear, or what appears to be the landing gear of that B-52, well, that covers almost, I don't know, 1/5 of the area of this lake. So B-52 plane, in conclusion, it's a huge aircraft, like huge. It's freaking huge. It could very easily fit or land on a field maybe twice the size of this lake, or maybe 3 times the size of this lake. And somehow the Vietnamese army, they managed to bring one down right here in the middle of Hanoi. And one thing that I've noticed is that most of the buildings, well, they look in an okay-ish condition, so I wonder what happened with the rest of the plane.
I've read that the B-52 was brought down by a surface-to-air missile on 27 December 1972, and the Vietnamese people, they did not move the wreckage. Is just how it is when it was brought down. A huge chunk of it and parts of it are inside the lake, on this side and on the other side. And they left it as is. They just built houses around it, and they left the wreckage inside the lake.
And guys, this is like for the ending part of our vlogs here in Vietnam, and it's mostly cheap philosophy. But Vietnam is probably known as a war rather than as a country by some people, or maybe by most people. And it is truly fascinating to see the remains of this war that lasted for nearly 2 decades, right? And if you ask some people, well, they will tell you that Vietnam won. If you ask some other people, they will tell you that it ended in a draw. And if you ask a third peoples, they will tell you that they won. Irrespective of that, it is truly amazing to see this, this artifact of this cruel war that has been fought here for nearly 15 years in the middle of the city. And as Alexandra told, and this is actually fascinating, they just built their city, they just built this neighborhood around this lake.